Hey everyone, so this is going to be a two-part video where I talk about the Catfish previews that MTV put up on their uh, YouTube channel, and do little predictions about that. The second part is going to be about the 2016-2017 TV show lineup. Basically, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm hoping to keep this video under 20 minutes, so possibly even 15. So let's get right into the clips that I saw on MTV for Catfish. The first episode, or the first clip that I saw of the Catfish preview for Wednesday, is this guy named Andrew talking to Neve Max right after they get to where Andrew's living, and Andrew shows them the he shows Neve Max the profile of Zach on the dating app that he's using. I assume I think it's the dating app. If not, then it's a social media account. Anyway, so after Neve Max, kind of look at that, Andrew says, well, there's been a new development, and basically he says that he was talking to his friend about, he was talking to his friend about a place where his friend could, live in Charleston, I think he said it was, and then eventually somehow the topic of Zach came up, and so Andrew shows that his friend what Zach looks like, and his friend's like, oh, I know this dude, and so his friend shows Andrew a profile of Zach that Andrew doesn't know about, and the profile is pretty. It seems pretty legit. And basically, Zach has like thousands of followers. I'm assuming hundreds, if not thousands, of posts on it. And pretty much it's basically a social media account that has a very large following. So basically, his friend then says, well, there's this People magazine article where what they did was People magazine picked the hottest guy from each of the 50 states, and that were on Tinder. The 50 hottest guy, the hottest guy from each of the 50 states that were on Tinder, and Zach was the hottest guy from Maine. So basically, it looks like this Zach Miller guy is not who he's like. The Zach Miller that Andrew was talking to is not the Zach Miller that is in the photos. If Zach Miller is his real name. So basically, it's pretty clear that Andrew's not talking to Zach Miller at all. That the person that he's talking to, their name is not Zach Miller whatsoever. They don't even resemble Zach Miller at all. So basically, it's clear that that's what's going on. And even Max pretty much say that in the clip, and so then Andrew's like, oh no, the Zach Miller that's in Maine could be the fake profile, and the Zach Miller and the Zach Miller in California is the real profile. And it's like, no, like they're pretty much, Neve and Max pretty much shut that shit down and say, no, that's not the case at all. That's not what's going on here. You know very well that the Zach Miller you're talking to is a fake profile. You know that. So they pretty much shut that shit down. They spray they use a fire extinguisher on those flames, like right really quick. So yeah, basically they just like, no, they're not buying that shit. So then Neve asks, well, if you know this guy is lying to you, or this person is lying to you, and you know, and you could have any pick of any of the hottest gay guys in the city, why are you pursuing, trying to figure out who this person is? And Andrew says, which I find very, very interesting, because this is how I felt about a previous Catfish episode. He says, well, for 100 or 99% sure that the person in the pictures is not who I'm talking to, and I end up meeting the person in the person who's been catfishing me, and they still end up attractive. Like if they still are attractive enough to me, then I can pretty much end up dating them. That's pretty much what he says, is that I will end up dating them anyway if they're attractive enough. And that's what I felt with the Candace and Titus episode. I felt like, because she just, I don't know, she just it felt like she was giving out the vibe that, even though she may not have said it, that she was giving out the vibe that she was looking for a backup just in case her husband, decided to end things with her. It felt very much like that. And it felt like at first she did it because she wanted to know for sure if he was the one in the pictures, and if he was the one in the pictures, she would definitely have him as a backup. Definitely have him as a backup in case her husband decided to, divorce her or something. And as the episode went on and everything, I felt like she did it just because because when they find out when they found out that Titus isn't who he says he is, she wanted to know if he was attractive enough. So just in case he wasn't attractive enough, and in case her husband, decided to divorce her, she could have him as a backup still. So that's what I felt like, because that's the vibe I got off of her. Because as Max, pointed out in the episode, in the beginning of the episode, there's, if the texts and messages that she sent to Titus were as innocent as she was claiming them to be, she wouldn't be this gung-ho about trying to meet him. Because all she was talking to him. It's not like, she was gonna go out she could possibly see herself marrying this guy, because she was already married. So it's not like she was out looking for some other dude to hook up with, or eventually date and marry if she was actually single. So that, it just seemed like that's the only, so that's the vibe I got off of it, is that if the text and messages were as innocent as she was claiming them to be, she wouldn't be this gung-ho about trying to meet him. Because all she was if she felt like she wasn't doing anything wrong, she wouldn't be this gung-ho about meeting him. She wouldn't have been. in my opinion. So anyway, what Andrew said pretty much reminded me of that episode. And so, um, now moving on to the second clip. Basically, the second clip is of Neva Max, doing some research. But first, they, look at the Zach Miller profile, or social media account, the real one. And then they see that he has posted a new picture, or not a new picture, but a picture. Excuse me. They see that he has posted a picture of him and this woman who seems to be a good friend of his. And so they reach out to both the Zach Miller account and the woman in the pictures on Facebook, I believe. And then what they do is they check the phone number, or at least one of the phone numbers that Andrew has for Zach. It's an 831 number, and it's I know 831 is a Monterey number, only because I know someone in Monterey, the Monterey area, and so, and plus they kind of flashed Monterey, California, real quick on the screen, so I caught that, and I found that interesting because I know someone, like I said, I know someone in the Monterey area. So yeah, I just found it like, wow, really? They went to Monterey, California? I was like, I know that place. Anyway, so basically, the name associated with the one number that they looked up, that they showed them looking up, is a woman's name. Basically, this is where my prediction comes in. I think that if it's, I think that it's someone that he knows. Because, I mean, otherwise, why would, I mean, yeah, it's because she's a woman, she's most likely a woman, but, I mean, I just kind of feel, feel like the woman is someone he knows or something. I don't know. I feel like maybe he's someone he knows. I'll go so far as to say that it's someone that he knows. And I believe that it's the woman that they saw. They had the woman's name who they saw had come up in association with the number, and so I think it's someone that he knows. I'll go so far as to say it's someone that he knows. Whether that's actually true or not, we'll see in Wednesday's episode. But I'm gonna make the leap that it's someone that he knows, not just the fact that she's a woman. It's that someone that he knows. And I will go so far as to say that prediction. And that's all I'm gonna do as far as prediction goes. With Catfish, the last episode of Catfish on Wednesday night. With that said, I'm gonna jump on over to the second half of the what I want to talk about in this video, and it's basically about the 2016-2017 TV show lineup. Like I said at the beginning of the video. There are 7 videos, or not videos, shows that I'm going to recap and review. SVU, Criminal Minds, Chicago PD, Rosewood, Grey's Anatomy, Vikings, and Elementary. Vikings, I found out, is the second half of season 4 is premiering on November 30th, which is Wednesday. I thought they were gonna, continue. I thought they were gonna, premiere, keep it on Thursday nights, but apparently they're moving it to Wednesdays. Or maybe it was always Wednesdays, but I could have sworn it was on Thursday nights too. But anyway, So Vikings comes back November 30th, which is a Wednesday, like I said. So SVU coming to mind, Chicago PD, and Vikings all going to be recapped and reviewed on Thursdays, since they're coming on Wednesday nights. Rosewood and Grey's Anatomy are going to be watched on Thursday nights and recapped and reviewed on Fridays. Elementary is going to be recapped and reviewed on Sunday nights, or watched on Sunday nights and recapped and reviewed on Mondays. Sorry about that. And basically, all my videos are going to be scheduled to be viewed by the public on YouTube on sometime between 6 and 7:30 Pacific Central or Pacific Standard Time. The day after I watch them. So for SVU coming on Chicago PD and Vikings, it's going to be Thursdays, sometime between 6 and 7:30 p.m. And it's the same for Rosewood, Grey's Anatomy, and Elementary. 6 and 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the day after it airs on television. And the reason for that is, the reason why it's going to be scheduled to come be released to the public on YouTube between 6 and 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is because I found out that YouTube has this feature where you can release videos to come out at a specific time, and so that's what I would do, is I'll recap and review them sometime between 1 and 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then I will release them to be scheduled to release them between 6 and 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. So yeah, basically it's like YouTube has this feature where you can, like, release videos that you've already made or whatever, and you can release them like at specific times and everything. And but the thing is, the catch is, before they're made public, the videos are considered private, so only people who are subscribed to me on YouTube can watch them before they come out between 6 and 7:30 p.m. So if you're subscribed to me, you can see these few hours before they even get published for the public on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to me, you're just gonna have to fucking wait. That's all there is to it. Or what you could do is you could become a Patreon or patron on my Patreon page, because I'm most likely gonna put my videos up on my Patreon page right after I put them up on YouTube. I'll link it to my Patreon page, and then you can watch them on my Patreon page. But the thing is, you have to donate to be able to see them, be able to see my videos that I post on YouTube that are scheduled to come out but are set to private, are considered private before they're actually scheduled to be released to the public. So you can there's two ways, like I said. So basically there's two ways you could watch my videos before they're released to the public on YouTube. One is to become a subscriber on my YouTube channel, like I said. So that way, any scheduled video that is supposed to come out between 6 and 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can watch before that time period. You can watch in the hours beforehand, and I can let you see it, or whatever. The other is, again, Patreon, where you can donate $1 or or however much, or $5 or whatever, to be able to become a patron of me, and then therefore be able to see my videos. You have to donate some money to be able to watch my videos on Patreon. So if you don't want to donate any money, or if you can't donate any money, then subscribe. You don't have to pay anything to subscribe to me on YouTube. But either way, if you want to see the videos before 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, subscribe, or become a patron on Patreon. Now, as far as the 2017 part of the TV lineup goes, the only show that I'm adding to the 7 that I want to recap and review in the 2016 part of the lineup is The Amazing Race, which comes out, I'm assuming, sometime in February. I think maybe it's gonna come on after the Super Bowl. I don't know. That's what I'm assuming, is that it's gonna come on after the Super Bowl. Don't hold me to that. But I'm assuming it's going to, because in the past it's what it's done before. They've always, started their seasons up the week after the Super Bowl Sunday. So I'm assuming that's what's gonna happen. So when The Amazing Race comes back on next year, I will then start recapping and reviewing that as well. So that's the only one I'm really gonna end up adding to my recap and reviews. With that, I will see you guys Wednesday or Thursday. Sorry. So, bye.